Hi, Erica.
Hi, Helen.
I really want to talk to you about identity development, what's been happening for young people. You do a lot of work, workshops, coaching, high schools, colleges, community colleges. And on this channel, I've talked to young people, some of them knowing what they want, some of them not. And I feel like you have a lot of insight into that process. So why don't you just start by telling us not just the bad stuff, but maybe an overview of what you're noticing about what's happening with young people.
Yeah, and I'm really just stepping into working with young people. My son is 22, and I've always been very close with all of his friends and watching them develop. I've always had a real passion for young people, so I've been really working more in the corporate arena with workshops around personal development and interpersonal skill sets. How we develop our own talent package, how we know who we are and our value systems and how that aligns with our work life and home life. I really want to bring that into the high school, starting kind of at the older ages in high school, because you need a certain maturity level to kind of go there. And then I think especially into kind of young college age. Some of the things that are really hitting my radar, why I think this, getting people to know themselves better, really understanding who they are at their deeper layers at a younger age. I have watched a lot of young people, actually, the young people have come to me and they talk to me about needing to know their life purpose. I'm talking about 18, 19, 20-year-olds wanting to have life purpose nailed down. It's throwing them into existential crisis before they're even emotionally developed. So what is that? Because that's we haven't had generations prior looking to find that kind of solid life purpose at such a young age. That usually shows up in our 40s, maybe. Secondarily, this feeling of just being sort of alone, isolated, not connected. I have there's a lot of study on the screen time and externalizing our sense of self based on how many likes we get for a post versus kind of going internal and introspective. So I think taking what we're doing sort of in the business realm in development, human development, and bringing it into the school systems, kind of molding it to suit that age group and developmental stage, I think it's vital right now.
Right. So what are the component pieces of this coaching and workshop process that you might bring into this theoretical person who's externalized their identity, who's, we would say, possibly worried about their life purpose a little too early? Maybe they need to bump around a little bit, have a little bit of self-acceptance, and yet they're putting a lot of pressure on themselves. So that's what I heard you say. Tell me a little bit about the tools and resources you would like to bring in.
I think the cornerstone to all of it would be the Elevations Temperament Assessment. The school I'm going to be working with this spring, they are 100% on board in giving all their students the assessment, and then helping them to, really kind of dig a little deeper into, this is who I naturally am. These are my values. This is what energizes me. I can just speak for myself that if I had known a little bit about my own temperament, because I'm such an outlier within my own family, it would have been a game changer for me. It would have been an absolute game changer for me. I'm 54 and I'm finally figuring out that maybe I have something to offer, because I understand now that from a temperament perspective, I can't just sit and think. I need to move and think. So it made me, honestly, for most of my life, it made me feel a little inadequate and not intelligent enough to do the kind of work I wanted to do. So I want to kind of start with that. I think just also the cycle, the career cycle, but having them understand that this idea, we go through turning points in life. And when young people are in turning points, they often feel like it's a dead end versus a blind corner.
That's well said.
And they just don't know that there's something really positive around that blind corner if they can get themselves to move, through it and kind of thrive on the other side.
Yeah. And you're a walking model for that, standing there in this current stage of life, and you have some regrets about not really understanding what your gifts were, and you had to deal with a lot of self-doubt and a lot of self-criticism.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that makes you really credible. I think if you can be real with the people, the young people that you're dealing with, and let them know that there is actually information. There is a way to understand yourself better.
Mm-hmm.
There is a transitional model that can
Mm-hmm.
explain some of the ups and downs that you're experiencing, so you can validate their experience.
I sure hope so. I sure hope so, because I am also around a lot of wonderful, creative young people who teach me new things every day. So there's just this vitality in our young people, and this desire to be so much bigger, as far as like a global positive force. They really are global thinkers. We're no longer in this very isolated thinking pattern. So to take that desire to help the world
And light it up.
but let them know it's okay to kind of, take steps into that. They don't need to, at 20 years old, at 22 years old, when they're graduating college, be Gandhi, have their name up in lights. It's going to take a little bit of time, and the path that goes like this is a valuable path, because you learn more, and it's all good, and it's all heading in the right direction, and they don't need to have all of the answers right here, right now.
Yeah. To take that pressure off.
Yeah, take
right?
the pressure off, because I think I see them so pressure cooked. The anxiety levels, again, the suicide levels, these things they're very real.
Yeah.
The mental health issues that are showing up in both high school and college, and even younger now. The total disengagement. Working with Incline High, they're talking about this disengagement level that's probably somewhere around 60%. 60%, when we talk about disengagement, I mean they just don't care, how much they care about what they're doing.
Right.
And because they can't really draw the line between math class and helping the globe. And so they're kind of checking out.
That's where they get disconnected.
They get disconnected.
So Erica, what is your most positive vision? Let's just say you do this work for 3 to 5 years, okay? What do you want to look back and say you got done?
Boy, that's a big question. My most positive vision, I've always played small, so I'm going to try to answer that from a not playing small perspective. Really getting at least a national shift where in our school system, starting possibly even as low as junior high, when that transition is so hard into teenage, and it's a really hard transitional part, but taking from junior high, high school, and into college, really humanizing how we teach, humanizing the human within our system, getting them to start exploring themselves from who they are in a very validated way. I think the other thing about starting that process at such a young age is when we understand who we are and we understand the differences between our own hardwiring and the people around us, to celebrate those differences instead of othering, instead of
more separation.
Yeah, more separation. So to kind of actually make it a positive, and our current trend of, that whole othering and me versus that person.
There's a good and there's a bad, there's a right and there's a wrong. And in the root of what I heard you say, it really is about validating each individual person and giving them the strength to keep persisting when they feel like they're rudderless, or they feel like they don't see that future is really possible.
Yes. And how do you build resilience, and how do you become your own best advocate if you don't truly know who you are? If you don't have an identity that is developed internally versus all of this external likes, don't likes.
And so if you get a chance, and let's just hope that many, many people get a chance to listen to our interview, what is the message that you want to get across to those young people who are watching us right now?
To invest in yourself, to really invest in getting to know yourself from from the inside out. Because you do have a lot to offer the world, but we can't offer from from an ignorant platform, an internally ignorant platform. We really need to spend some time. What do we care about? What are we going to stick a stake in the ground that says, this is what I believe in?
Right.
This is what energizes me. I want to do what energizes me. And, it's how we become our most valued and valuable selves.
Yeah. So be your own advocate. Be that advocate from a position of internal self-knowing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Be your own champion.
Erica LaRue, you got to do it. You got to go do it.
Gonna give it my best shot.
Thank you.
Thank you.